So, welcome everybody, good afternoon from our Attensi London office and welcome to our next LinkedIn live session. We have a very, very special session today. We're actually pre-recorded, so we're not quite live, but for a change, I'm now sat behind the scenes and I'm able to watch this as we're streaming it live. But we've done this for good reason. We have a very, very special guest with us today. We have Tracy. Tracy, I'll hand over to you and I'll allow you to introduce yourself.
Right, thank you. I'm Tracy Bickerdike. I work for Heineken. I'm part of Star Pubs and Bars and I head up their licensee training and development team.
Small job then, Tracy. Keeps you busy.
Small, teeny-weeny job, but we have 2,500 pubs, so it's just a little bit of a challenge.
So is there a bit more you could tell us? So 2,500 units, that's
substantial. So for Star Pubs, it's the only place in the world that Heineken run pubs, and we have 2,500 pubs. And that's a mixture of leased and tenanted and management agreement. So we have our management agreement is called Just Add Talent, and we have about 180 of those. We plan to grow it to 250 over the next couple of years. So the majority are leased and tenanted, but our management agreement is really important. It adds a lot to our profit pool, so it needs a lot of attention.
Yeah, I can imagine, and definitely keeps you busy, no doubt.
It does, yeah.
Fantastic. So, Tracy, you've been working with Attensi now for a while. Can you talk to us a little bit about what you use our solutions for?
Yeah, so the Attensi solution for us was something we wanted to evolve the way we did our training. So a lot of the traditional content you have out there is e-learning, which is quite long-winded. So I wanted a better solution for our Just Add Talent pubs, and that's ones that are on our management agreement. So I wanted to see if there was anything out there that would engage with team members better. So the initial reason for using it was to create a hospitality masterclass. So we wanted to help teach the young people coming out of the lockdown, going back into pubs, lost that social interaction,
time, right?
how to have that social conversation with customers. So that's what we used it for on the skills, and it's done great for us. They really, really love it, and now we're using it for lots of other stuff as well.
It's growing as well. So Tracy, you mentioned that word, and it's a word we use a lot. That traditional training, I think, is our polite way of saying the less engaging type of training. So that traditional training. For you, what's been the one thing that stood out the most about the difference between traditional training and using game-based simulations?
It's shorter. It's, oh my God, the amount of feedback we've had, it's too long. I can't get my team members to sit there and concentrate on it. So it's so much harder though to write shorter content. So, but I think the Attensi tool, what it does for me, because it's that gamified element and the way you allow to make mistakes, it's a different style of writing training content, and it allows it to be more succinct and shorter as well. Whereas the traditional e-learning, the other thing about that is it has to cover all bases and lots of different industries. So what I like about Attensi is it's bespoke as well. So that takes a little bit more time, but once you get it right, it really does a good job for you. And
I guess just to mention slightly, I know we were talking earlier and you talked about the good old PDF or the big paper-based folder. We talked about 84 pages, but I suppose it allows you, using our solutions, allows you to almost take out a lot of that content, right, and concentrate on what's important. Yeah, I think the bit for me, it's like with any training content, it's so easy to make long-winded training, to write reams and reams and reams, and what Attensi's done is has made us home in on exactly what do we want to get across. What is it that they need to learn? We all know about the learning curve, you'll forget stuff. So what we've had to do is say what's really important, what do we want the team members to remember and to do? So we really want them to, do that warm welcome to the customer. We want them to have that product knowledge, to do that great service. We all know great service means, when a member of the team interacts with you. So we want them to understand that, because sometimes the people that grew up on the phone don't understand that talking is actually a great way of doing that great service. Yeah, and I suppose being able to put them in those real life scenarios, right, and practice, but also be able to do it safe where they're not impacting negatively. And also someone like me that's been in the industry for over 30 years, it's just like second nature, and you forget
someone coming into hospitality for the first time. It's a little bit daunting. I remember my first job as a newsagent. I stood behind the counter waiting to be told what to do. So to have a tool that says, this is what you do, this is how you do it, it's got to be the right thing.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. I can relate back to those days of, what is it, fake it till you make it as well, right? You put a smile on your face, but I've got a clue what you're doing.
Absolutely, and you see it as well when you go in a pub and the staff are, all talking to each other and their heads are down and they don't want to engage with the customer. So we actually call that out in the training. So we tell them what to do, what the customer's looking for. So we state the obvious, but it's not always the obvious to them.
It's interesting actually, just thought popped in my head. We talk about when you do things through experience, so your auto reaction, you've done it so many times, you do it blindly, but actually maybe there's an argument for the people that are in your organisation or any brand actually that do things on kind of automatic mode through experience. There's a little refresher in there maybe of what great looks like.
You know what? The other beauty of the training is it reinforces what they already know. So a lot of our people that have completed it, they've worked in hospitality for quite a long time. But what it does, it reinforces that those bits you're doing are really good. And if you can do this little bit extra, you'll go the extra mile, and they love it. And our engagement's been fantastic. So it's such a struggle just to get them to do it once on traditional training. With this, we found they play it about at least over 7 times.
Amazing.
To become the master of it, and some of them are so competitive.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine the type of industry that the competitive nature is there, the leaderboards are getting looked at quite a lot. I would imagine.
Well, it has such an impact. They keep saying to me, when are you releasing more content, Tracy? And luckily enough, we'll release some more next week.
Amazing.
So,
exciting times. So with that in mind, Tracy, so obviously we use our portal product and obviously you're set up as the administrator, the content creator for it. How do you find using that, and what's it like when it comes to execution and launch time?
So, I'm not going to tell a lie, it has been challenging, and the challenge is time. So we've been doing an awful lot to do our launch. We've bit the bullet. And we've moved all our compliance training over to Attensi because I wanted to get rid of that lengthy, long-winded traditional e-learning. So I probably given myself quite a lot to do in this quarter. Big job. So time has been my enemy, but we're coming towards the end of it. So I feel like the light is at the end of the tunnel. And I had a window of opportunity last week where I got a clear day to do Attensi University. So I did that to learn how to use Portal.
Amazing.
And then since then I've been flying. And I've really, really enjoyed the experience of putting the learning journeys together, and I can see it all coming together now. And again, another beauty is when you've had the traditional e-learning, you give them a set of courses to do, but it doesn't say what order to do them. It's not really engaging, it's just like there. So we're building these learner journeys for them, which is all bite-sized, and they can follow a pathway.
Step by step, right.
So step by step. So I can see how it's hopefully going to get their engagement. So I'm fingers crossed it'll all work next week.
And I have to say, Tracy's been really modest because we talked earlier and I had a view of the portal she's already put together and it's grade A. And we talked a little bit earlier as well, didn't we? And you've mentioned now around those kind of learner journeys. Do you see that transferable beyond typical onboarding? Do you see that in different roles? That clear-cut journey, do you see that coming into play a lot more?
Absolutely. We've already got our area managers, business development managers. We've already developed some skills content for them. So I'm actually having a sit down with one of my colleagues, and we're going to actually try and build an induction path for a BDM coming into Star. So like I said, we're part of Heineken, so quite a few of our colleagues come over from the free trade side, and Star is completely new. So we're going to try and build a pathway there where we've got content. And also it's good for them to see the pub content because they're there to give their licensees advice and support. So they'll have access to that same training as well.
Amazing. And Tracy, I've also heard on the grapevine that you've introduced almost a team of learning champions, or you've championed.
Yeah, so I'm not a one-man band. I have a team of 5, and honestly, I couldn't do this job without them. They're a great team. So we're small, but we're very productive. They've all took on different champion roles for the different products within Attensi. So obviously you've got your fast, your portal, we've took on process, we've got skills. So what we've decided to do, because we can't all learn it and be good at it all at once, so we've divided it up and everybody's doing the Attensi University to get good at different bits.
Yeah.
So I have my 2 training support managers and they are absolutely nailing how to do the admin side, and they're coming on my journey with me to help build portal. And then I have Tony in my team who's mastered skills.
Okay.
He's created some fantastic content on kitchen skills. You know, he's done a steak masterclass. So if anybody wants to learn how to cook a good steak, just ask us and we'll let you see our modules.
I'll put my hands up for that one. I'm definitely up
and
for
then
that one.
the other 2 guys, Mark and Graham, they're going to be champions of the different ones. So they're sort of quite new on their journey. But yeah, and it gets the whole team involved. So that's what I love about it.
And I guess it gives you a kind of manoeuvrability at pace, right? Because again, we've talked about kind of the volume of training and how you want to grow that and continue to make more game-based simulations across our pubs. I guess when you've got people tuned into specific areas of the training and the content creation, that allows you faster manoeuvrability, right? I can imagine you get a stakeholder tap you on the shoulder and go, oh, I'd quite like to do something like that. And that allows you that pace.
Yeah, and I think with the AI feature that I'm trying to get signed off now, I think that will help even more, especially with using fast on PDFs.
Yeah.
Because, you know, people get like something to read. It's like, how do you digest it? So to be able to do that in an engaging way, it'll be great. And for the guys to learn how to use it, I can just say, can you guys do that? I can't do everything.
Yeah.
So, you know, as a team, we can all support each other.
Yeah. And just for reference, I know we've mentioned on the show a few times and probably across LinkedIn around AI tools that we use, how we're able to take large volumes of PDF and that pace, effectively convert them into game-based simulations of a variety. I mean, for, you know, it's one of our phrases, but for us, that's a huge game changer. And again, as we discussed, all of the content's needed, but it's being able to extract that really important stuff for the specific people in the business.
Yeah, it's like anything. I always say to my guys, you know, we do other courses, virtual courses, and we're always looking at that content to say what needs to be in there. So if you take recruitment, for instance, you could talk on and on and on about recruitment, what are the key bits, and it's the same with this training. You know, it's trying to, what are the key call outs, what is it that will help them do a better job or, you know, help improve what they do.
Definitely. Tracy, not to put you on the spot too much, but what would you say the key drivers to great content creation are?
It's giving them what they want, and that's the challenge as well.
Okay.
So, and it's also solving key problems. So I mentioned before we had a steak masterclass, so we wanted to do 2 things there. Give product knowledge to the team member when somebody asks for a steak and they ask it cooking in a certain way, they understand why and what it does and which steaks are the best to advise. And then secondly, we wanted to teach the kitchen team. We all know it's challenging to recruit chefs. We wanted to give them, you know, teach them how to cook a steak as well. So we're trying to be quite clever. We could create a load of content, but we're trying to be quite clever to try and create content that they want.
Yeah.
You know,
so it has impact, right?
It has impact. It's going to get engaged with, and it'll make a difference. So our mantra is about create, engage, embed. So we want to make sure anything we create gets good engagement and makes a difference. So I'd sooner create less rather than more, and then build on it.
And I love that, and I think what's translated from the conversations we've had, Tracy, is that it's also like the brilliant basics, right? So how to cook a great steak. I mean, you could sit here and think, but actually consistently, how do you consistently deliver a great experience for your guests, right?
And that's what this platform does as well. It gives you that, once you put the training together, although that takes time, once it's there, you've got that to call upon. And even if people move on, you've got that great content. And like you said, you've got that consistency. So whenever a team member is taken on in one of our Just Our Talent pubs, we know they're going to go through that great training content. And if they engage with it, it'll make a difference. And we already know from the trial we did back in November 22, it definitely moved the scores on our mystery customer experience by 3% against the ones that hadn't. So it does make a difference. And
the proof's in the proof's in the numbers
Yeah,
as well, right,
yeah.
Tracy? So I said just when I asked you that question, I wouldn't put you on the spot, but I'm going to now, Tracy. So if I was to say to you, you know, how would you describe working with Attensi thus far? What would you say?
You know what? It's been really good, and no one's paid me to say that. Honestly, I have found you guys so professional. Nothing's too much trouble. You also want us to feed back to what improvements you want, and I've seen improvements in the short time I've been with you to the platform.
Amazing.
And I was saying before, I feel like I've made friends. You know, you're such nice people. I'm not just saying that, honestly. The experience I've had has been really rewarding. You know, it's easy to get hold of you, and it's easy to engage with you and to work with you as well. And that's been said by other people in my organisation that I've had to bring in as SMEs. So, yeah, brilliant.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nice to hear. And again, with the words, but obviously we feel the same. We talk about our customers aren't just customers, they're partnerships, and we build those relationships. And
Yeah.
we very much feel we have that with you, Tracy.
I feel I can be me with you guys. So,
Yeah.
don't know if that's good or bad, but
No, it's definitely a good thing. It's
Yeah.
definitely a good thing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Tracy. It's been wonderful to have you on
welcome.
the show. What I would say to everybody, if you're watching this on what we're deeming as live, or you're watching it on record, if you have any questions or you'd like to find out anything about what we've discussed with Tracy today in a bit more detail, or get in the driving seat of any of our game-based simulations, just reach out and shout. We'd love to get you playing some of our games. But for now, thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you again really soon. Thanks very much.